Welcome to Mom Bods and Margaritas, where two childhood friends navigate the wild and crazy world of midlife.
That's right. We're diving into the ups and downs of relationships, motherhood, health, sports, and everything in between.
Join us as we share our personal stories, laugh through the challenges, and explore how to thrive in this transformative phase of life. Whether you're feeling lost, empowered, or somewhere in between, we're here to remind you you're not alone.
So grab a coffee or a margarita, settle in, and let's embark on this journey together. It's time to embrace the chaos and celebrate the beauty of midlife. Let's get started.
Hello. Mandy's got the giggles today.
I have been laughing all day long. I think just the anticipation, the excitement, and the hilarity, to be honest, of our first podcast that dropped today.
Yes. That we actually recorded a month ago.
Oh, it's been at least a month.
It's been a month, yeah. Seems like forever.
Yeah. And I have laughed all day long. Lisa did the greatest job on editing our little... No, you did a great job on editing our little commercial for it, and we put it on TikTok. And I say Lisa does all the heavy lifting with the tech because apparently, again, you don't want me doing anything with it. But... Anyway, I'm so excited, and I have laughed all day long at the stories and listening to it back. And I've gotten texts from friends, and it has been an amazing day.
Yeah, it has. I tried to do as much as I could last night because I didn't want to wake up today and have to worry about it. So I got it all set up last night, and then I put it on whatever site I did, and I guess Spotify, for it to drop right at 5 a.m. So I don't even think I got up till 7:30. And then I checked it and it was there. And then I just started going into high gear, posting it. And I messed up a little bit. I'm still trying to learn, but there was a point this morning I was literally on the verge of tears. You're sending me all these laughing emojis. And other people are too, and I'm like, I cannot figure out how to get this freaking link to work. And my kids were making fun of me. They're like, just copy and paste it.
Oh, they can
say that I am.
My kids consistently make fun of me, Mom, stop, hold it down. It's a weird age. Yeah. I just want to say that too, because I know you said on your post today, I'm a boomer when it comes to technology.
I am.
It's such a weird age because we didn't grow up with computers, but our entire professional career, we had to use them.
We started off with
Beepers,
beepers? Remember the beepers?
Baby.
And you pulled over at a payphone. And call whoever back. And then about that time is when we got the flip phones.
Yes.
And it was when you sent a text or responded, it was, you were hitting the numbers.
Yes.
Waiting for the letter to come up. It was totally different. So
I had a bag phone.
What's that?
It is a giant bag that looks like a briefcase. And it was corded. I had a phone.
I never had a corded phone.
And the other end of it plugged in your cigarette lighter, and it was ridiculous, $5,000 a minute or something. And so I would call
unlimited.
Calling me "Hey, what's up? I gotta go." Click before unlimited. But the stuff that we grew up with, I remember dial-up.
Yeah.
And if anybody in the house needed to use something, it would throw you off. And now look at us.
I can still hear the sound.
Oh, yeah. So we have really, our whole professional life, at least in our early 20s, we had computers.
Yeah.
And we had to work with them. But Excel is a four-letter word.
No social media, though.
No. Thank God. Because that would have been a disaster. But you're not tech savvy. I'm not tech savvy. It's the blind leading the blind. But thank you for doing all the heavy lifting with that, because we definitely would not have launched today.
Well, I'm learning a lot doing it, but I feel like, I told Jeffrey this yesterday on our walk, because I was a little frustrated. I literally was sitting at the computer all day. My butt was numb when he got home at 6 p.m. So he said, "Are we going for a walk?" I said, "Yes, let's go," because I've got to get some circulation going. And we were talking, and I said, it's like I'm supposed to just be walking a half of a mile straight shot, but I'm doing the 5K over the hill and through the woods. I'm going in every direction. I don't need to be going in to try to figure this out. So I'm getting there, but it may be the long way around.
Well, I'm really hoping that some people that are listening to this can relate, because I know that there's a lot of people our age that are super tech savvy and know their way around coding and everything. This ain't it. I'm just letting you know. If you're looking to us to code something before the end of the world, we're all going down.
And you're over there looking cute from work in your dress and your sandals. And earlier today, I said, I'm not putting on makeup. I'm not doing anything. So I'm here with only mascara on and my sweatshirt, but that's okay.
Believe me, if I did not have to go in today and have meetings, I wouldn't be looking like this either. Because it is fake fall for those of you who don't live in Alabama. Alabama has about 380 seasons.
Yes.
And what happens is it's so hot.
And the numbers work because there's 2 seasons a day sometimes.
That's right.
That's why it's
That's
more.
right.
Yes.
In the morning when you get up, you have to put on sweatpants or something and maybe a sweatshirt, right? Let the dog out, do whatever. It's a little chilly. And it's not cold right now, but just giving you a visual.
It's nice.
A little chilly. Later in the afternoon, you're wearing a tank top because it's so hot.
Yeah.
And then if you have to go outside and take the trash out to the street or whatever at night, well, you got the sweatshirt on again, or maybe even a light jacket.
Right.
So right now we're in the season in Alabama that we call fake fall, which means it's been hot as Hades. It's been 100 plus degrees. And then all of a sudden it drops like I used to on the dance floor.
Not me.
I can no longer do that now. I don't drop it like it's hot. I squat it like it's warm. But essentially, it drops, and then you get all excited, and you're like, oh, it's fall. It's pumpkin spice and, pumpkin wreaths. And then the next thing you know, it's 100 again. So we're in that period where it's fake fall.
Yeah, 2 days ago, I bought refill for my wax downstairs for my candle, and it's pumpkin marshmallow.
Yes. Yes. So we are in denial that it feels great right now outside. So the air doesn't know what to do, whether it should come on or not. It's chilly in the morning. So anyway, we're getting close to fall though. It's getting close to mid-September.
Yeah. I think it'll be cool maybe next week.
Yeah.
I haven't checked the weather.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over it.
Yes. Agreed.
Well, so with all the activities going on today, I haven't much looked at my notes, but today we're going to touch a little bit on stress management.
Yes.
Which the margaritas are perfect for today, I must say, for myself.
Absolutely.
When I was looking last week, when I was taking some notes, trying to just jot some stuff down, because I'll just go blank if I don't have anything to look at. But I looked online, and it said that stress management is the practice, the practice of reducing the negative effects of stress on your body and mind.
Yeah.
That sounds so simple, but I think sometimes we don't really think about the body and mind. It's just one or the other. When I think of myself as being stressed, it's my mind, it's my emotional state, and it's not my body so much. So I don't look for ways to help my body. I look for ways to help my mind, if that makes sense.
I feel it in my body, but I will say the mind drives the body. So if you can relax your mind, it actually relaxes your body. And when I'm in an extreme stress situation, I mean, I can tell you, I get sick. Like it lowers your immune system. And I think people have different reactions to stress, but I know long extended periods of stress have been linked to major depression, cancer, all those things that take a toll on your body. So I think it's important to know what works for you. And I think that's a myriad of different things for different people. I think a lot of stress management, in my mind, I also go to self-care.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Do I go get a massage?
Right.
Do I go eat lunch with a friend? Do I get a pedicure? And the answer is yes to all three, right? When I can. But I think it's important every day to have those little micro practices like getting enough sunlight, doing breath work, praying or meditating.
Right.
And there's so much evidence out there that it really helps longevity and helps you remain healthy. So it's important to do.
In the mornings when I have time to just stretch or do some yoga or exercise, I know that it will make me feel better because it always does. But there are just some days, well, actually most days, if I'm honest, where I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing it. I'd rather just sit and watch TV or scroll through social media or read my book.
Yeah. I read something recently, and it's kind of off the subject, but it really has made a huge difference for me, even though it was so small. And it said the 2-minute rule. If there is a task or something that you can do in 2 minutes or less, go ahead and do it. And it sounds so simple and so easy, but I've started incorporating that, and it really has changed my life. And what I mean by that is I might say, okay, well, I don't have time to dust the living room right now. I'll just do it later. And then I find myself later stressing out that there's dust, and now I'm in a time crunch and I don't have time to do it. So I've really started incorporating it. I'm in such a hurry. I have got to get to work. I don't have time for this, or I'm late for the gym, or whatever that is. I'm going to make up my bed. I'm doing it now because I'm not going to wait till I get back from the gym to hop in the shower and then I'm really running. Those little micro practices of 2 minutes or less, any tasks that I can do, take out the trash, anything
Empty
in 2
the
minutes.
dishwasher. That's for me.
So much better.
And when I'm making my bed, I'm literally telling myself, and I do this on numerous occasions, Lisa, this has taken you maybe 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And then your room is clean. When you pass by or come through or whatever, it looks like it's neat and tidy, and it took 90 seconds. Same thing with the dishwasher. It might take 2 minutes. But it's just the redundancy of it, I guess, for me, makes me not want to do it.
Yes.
But when I do and get everything done in the mornings, it's literally minutes where it's done, and I feel better when I'm going through my whole day and I have a dirty dish. I just put it in the dishwasher instead of it piling up in my sink.
Yes.
It seems so simple.
Yeah.
And we just make it hard on ourselves.
Well, it's clutter, which leads to mental clutter, and you feel like you're drowning in all these little small tasks that never get done. And I think we as women, we carry the mental load of the household. If there's a birthday card to be bought, we're going to buy it. We have to think about it. We have to put it on the calendar. We have to mail said card or deliver it. If it's somebody that's sick or been in the hospital, we're the ones that are going to call. We're the ones that are going to make arrangements to send the flowers. It's the mental load. And so at some point, you kind of get tired of having to do all this. And the dishwasher is really just pushing you over the edge. And it's one of those things like, I'll do it later. I'm just exhausted mentally.
Right. I wrote down some things that were stressors for me. It may not be for other people. I'm not going to read it all, everything I've got. I've got like some stressors, and then I wrote relievers, things that like relieve my stress. But the usual stressors for me, and I think most people can relate to this, is money, family, your kids. And so with the kids, that ranges in different areas throughout the years. It can be for grades, for behavior, their activities. It's whatever age that they are, there's going to be something there that stresses you out because you've got a million things going on. Your spouse. I actually have a pretty easygoing, laid-back spouse. But maybe where some of those stresses would come in would be he works a lot. Mm-hmm. And so it's when I feel like we don't have enough time together. Because when he comes home, he's tired just like I was tired when I used to come home. Mm-hmm. But the difference is I was getting home at 3:30 because I worked at a school, and he's getting home at 7.
Right.
So when I got home, I would chill for a bit, and I would either sit down for a minute, I would turn on the TV, I would get on my phone, because I couldn't do any of that during the day. So that was like me decompressing. So when he comes home, obviously he wants to do that too. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? Sit in here and, watch TV together or whatever. And which he would argue that point, because we really aren't into the same shows right now. But you get what I'm saying is, so for me, like my spouse would be the time that we don't get to spend together, which can turn into lack of communication, in certain areas.
And quality time.
Yeah.
It's so easy to sit in front of the TV and veg out watching the same show. Even if you are on the same page about what you want to watch, it's so easy, and that is not intimacy. And that's difficult, because every night is not going to be staring into each other's eyes and talking about your hopes and dreams, right? But I think...
Well, it's like the meme that goes out, or whatever it is that's all over social media, and I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but we will send it to each other a lot, he and I will, and it's basically just saying, I want my space, but I want you in my space.
Yes.
And that's exactly how it is. I'm watching TV, and he's in the same room. We might not always be watching the same show, but sometimes if he's in the bedroom or vice versa, it's like we'll both kind of go in and out just seeing what the other one's doing. It's just like, hey, what's going on? Nothing. Still watching the same show as I was 10 minutes ago. I think for a lot of people, your schedule, because you overcommit.
Yes.
Everyone is overcommitting.
I'm guilty.
That can look different in a lot of ways, whether it's with your kids or for yourself or helping others. And it's just people that can't say no.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing a lot better with setting those boundaries, because again, I'm a peacemaker, right? So I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I'm doing so much better with that. But I can tell you, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, at least 6, but most of the time 7 of my days are spoken for. So I work Monday through Friday. Saturday usually is my day, to do things. But Sunday, I have family commitments. I have a 92-year-old grandmother who's still living, and thank God for her. And we are very close, but I go see her every Sunday. And it's at least an hour to her house and an hour home. So even if I don't visit, that's 2 hours. Yeah. Typically go to church, and there's just only so many hours in the day. Yeah. So at some point I have to clean my house. At some point I have to change my bed. I have to buy groceries. Yeah. Just regular errands, and run to Costco and do whatever, service the car.
I feel like you've always been kind of like the Energizer Bunny.
Yes.
And I've not been. Like, I definitely have always wanted and needed downtime, and I could do it for days. I could just sit at home one day and just watch TV, and I have friends that say, oh, I can't do that, I have to be doing something. Well, not me. I can sit. So I've always thought of you as having a lot of energy and being that person, but at the same time, by doing that, you feel like there's more that you can commit to.
Yes, and I am extremely high energy, and I am very driven in my career. So if there's something extra that I can do, or if I can take some additional classes to improve my skill set or get a certification or something, I'm going to do it. And I think where it becomes a problem is when I'm not setting those boundaries, and then I feel guilty if I need a day to just sit and watch TV and veg all day long and do nothing. Like, maybe I just want to eat snacks and watch TV all day. I shouldn't feel guilty. It's my time,
Right.
and 99% of the time I'm doing things for others. So I make sure that I set those boundaries and I say, you know what? I haven't done anything today and I'm not sad about it.
Right.
I'm someone who feeds and gets energy off of energy, and being around people like this is so fun for me. If I get to go out of town and see people or spend time with friends or have dinner or something, I really enjoy being around people and I get energized with that. I feel like I drain myself if I stay at home too much.
I like being around my friends periodically. Whenever I get together with you, it's always great. When I get together with the girls from work, it's always great. I do that because I enjoy it. Just like today, I got a text about when are we going to do Bunko again? Because the last time we had Bunko was in August. And so I had told everyone, I think once school starts, let's just go every other month, because every month is too much for everybody, because most everyone that plays are educators. So I got the text today, and I had responded that we'll play again in October, and I'm looking forward to playing again in October, but I'm also okay with not playing this month. So I need my time spaced out, because even if I'm going and meeting my friends and having lunch, dinner, whatever, a day of shopping, it's still me having to go somewhere, which is why I don't get my nails done as much anymore, because I don't want to have to go every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or when I get my hair done for my hair appointment, if it's less than 6 weeks, I can't deal with it. I don't want to always be doing something.
Yeah. You don't like your time being spoken for.
I just like to be at home a lot. I like going out, but I also like being at home and just not always being on the go.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You're almost like an extroverted introvert.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm an extroverted extrovert.
For sure.
You know, there's always something for me to say and do.
Well, unfortunately, we can figure that out between us.
Yes.
So that never becomes an issue for us.
No.
I think you know things that I like and don't like, and I know of things that you like. And I think I've asked you to play Bunko once because we needed someone, but I kind of get the feeling that Bunko's not your vibe. So I don't ever ask you to sub.
Yeah.
And you don't ever ask me to hike, because I'm going to be like, no, not happening.
Well, I would sub for Bunko, but believe it or not, and this is what's the strangest thing about me, and I'm admitting this to the world now, but since our podcast is out, but this is going to sound the craziest thing. I have a hard time being around a lot of women that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because I will talk to a wall. And in 10 minutes, I would know all their names and be talking to them. I don't have weirdness about, I'm not shy. I'm not afraid to, meet new people. And I used to play Bunko. I was in a Bunko group, and we had fun. But, and I'll play. I'll be a sub.
Okay, good.
But I'm just not, it's too much for me. That piece is too much for me. If I had to do it every month and plan and do all that, I can't.
Well, see, if you play now, they're all going to know who you are. They've been listening in.
Oh, yeah.
Today. I've already been getting the messages.
Well, I'm
about
apologizing to you guys ahead of time, because I'm not like Lisa. I'm very loud and outspoken.
Well, I've had my moments. Maybe on to more stressors in my life. I've got quite the list. Just some things like the house being messy, that stresses me out. Things that aren't in my control that stress me out would be things like politics and listening to the news, poor time management. As a matter of fact, the debate is tonight. The presidential debate, and I was like, I'm so glad we have this podcast, because my husband will be downstairs watching it, and I'd have to go in the bedroom.
I can't watch it either.
I don't.
That stresses me out.
None of it. The news is always something tragic, and it's just the same old. I can't deal with it. So what I was going to get into here in a bit was how you relieve that stress. But for these things, these items, I don't watch the news. So guess what? I'm not going to be stressed by the news anymore. I'm not going to be stressed by politics anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be stressed with poor time management, which when I say that, I mean that usually when it's other people that is affecting my time management is what stresses me out. So I'm a very punctual person.
Yes.
And I don't like when people aren't punctual repeatedly. So that sets me off like habitual tardiness. So I can just get into why that bothers me. Or just people being impatient or rude when you're out somewhere, and just the entitlement that people have. Like, another pet peeve of mine, I've got the craziest pet peeves, is when people don't use a crosswalk. So they're wanting to cross.
Sorry about that.
Is that you? Okay. Well, I'm driving.
Sometimes I don't.
There is either a crosswalk 10 feet away, or there might not be one. Well, guess what? If there's not one, you don't have the right away, sweetie. So don't be eyeing me when I roll on past you, or don't let you go. You know? So,
and I just run like Carl Lewis across the street. Like Frogger.
Well, if that was me passing you, I'd be talking about you.
I know you would. And it's okay, because I love you anyway. And if you are in a restaurant and I see you smacking with your mouth open and not saying please and thank you, I'm going
Listen, you better use a napkin, too.
We're going outside.
Like, use the napkin, okay?
It's so funny.
I'm laughing because I always tell my kids that, and they just look at me, and I'm like, how are we still not using napkins? Because you have always heard me say, use your napkin. They would also say that I've been a Karen to people before, which I don't usually act like that in restaurants. I will admit I probably have with customer service sometimes, because it's annoying, and you have to be sometimes these days to get anything done.
Yeah, because there is no customer service for the most part.
So the relievers would be for me. And I had to kind of divide these up, because not everyone can do the same thing. Not everyone has access for the same stress relievers. So I have some that I just call like extras, where I am able to do some of these things that I haven't always been able to do. If I can take a quick trip somewhere, even if it's just for the weekend, preferably the beach.
I love a quick getaway.
Listen, I could sit on the beach in my chair with my feet in the sand and do nothing. Just stare at the water. I've done it for hours.
Yes.
I've done it by myself.
Yes.
Just sitting there, looking at the water, thinking.
Yes. And for me,
so
I love to go to the mountains. I love like a babbling brook. I love the mountains. I mean, I love the beach. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But for me, I love to hike. I love to get out in nature. I love to hear like a waterfall or a babbling brook, any kind of water.
Sorry, you keep saying that. And Jeffrey always says the next time we meet, he wants a babbling brook in our backyard.
Well, tell him I'll be his neighbor. But yeah, I'm very drawn to like being outside where it's peaceful and calm and, you know, in nature. So, and that's free.
Yeah,
like,
that's free.
Taking the trip, you know, but the beach is free.
Yeah.
But taking the trip and getting there and maybe somewhere to stay is not.
Right.
But just free activities, sitting outside and enjoying
and there's plenty of things like that to do. I will go to the spa, which is another extra or luxury that I will give myself, because the spas are not cheap. Periodically, I'll go and get a facial. I'm not really a massage person. It hurts me.
I am. I love
I'm very tender. So I like the facials.
Bring it on.
I get sore and bruise if they
Yeah.
do it too hard.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
I like
You like
it.
the deep tissue.
Not always. I like more of a light touch, but I've done, you know, lymphatic drainage. I've done cupping. I've done hot stone. I've done deep tissue. I've done all of it. I love to get a massage. I feel so much better. I feel like it helps with stress, but also just getting your lymphatic system moving. so many benefits, right? I love
She
it.
likes to do the lymphatic on my face when I get
Yeah.
my facials.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I also like to get a facial, but I don't go. I think I've only had a couple, but I really enjoy going, and that is a luxury. But one thing that I kind of do on the regular is pedicure. It just, for me, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. I get part of a massage and then also, get my toes done. I love that. There's a lot of free stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
Box breathing is really great. Taking a walk, like you
Right.
talked about. I'm stressed. I need to go for
Yeah.
a walk. Listening to music. I know I'm a huge music person, and it really helps you calm down or get it out. And that's free.
Getting outside, it helps so much. It's like a strange phenomenon that our body really reacts positively to being outside. Mm-hmm. When I go outside in the mornings, when I first get up and I let Macy, our dog, out, if it's sunny and it feels decent, I'll sit in the chair.
Yeah.
And just having the sun on your face, there's something about it for me. It's so refreshing and invigorating, and it just wakes me up.
Yeah.
Versus being inside on my couch drinking coffee to wake myself up. There's something about being outside. And my dog, all throughout the day, when the sun is coming through different windows in our home, she's laying in different spots throughout the day because she wants to be in the sun. She follows the sun, or she'll go outside on our patio and lay in the sun, and she could be out there for an hour or two, and I have to bring her in because I'm afraid she'll get sunburned. So if our dogs love being in the sun,
Yeah.
that should tell us something.
Yeah. And it produces vitamin D.
Yes, which is what we need at our age.
Yes, a lot. And I love to sit outside in the morning sometime and drink coffee. And my dog is outside. It's very peaceful, and I love my little patio and sitting outside. And I like to sit outside at night around a fire pit. We've done that here before, so I plan on buying a fire pit, hopefully, soon.
They're so much fun. It's almost like the beach where I just sit and stare at the water. If I'm around a fire pit, I can just sit there and stare at the logs and the flames. I don't know how good that is for my eyes, but just sit there and stare and just think, listen to my music and just think about whatever.
Yeah, great stress management.
Yeah. Obviously, exercise is a good stress reliever, and it doesn't have to be anything. I have to remind myself, it doesn't have to be a HIIT workout. Those are nice too, but it can be stretching. It could be yoga. It could be Pilates. It could just be something light.
Just move
it just
your body.
gets your body, moving.
Yeah, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Dancing, I will dance around my house all the time. And if people could look in my windows, I don't care. It's so fun. Like, I turn up my music and I'm dancing around, just having the best time, cleaning or whatever.
I do that in my bathroom sometimes.
It's a great stress reliever.
Yeah. I like to read. I usually do that at night, though, when I'm in the bed. I don't read too much during the day because it makes me sleepy. Most of what I do is on the iPad, so I think just the lighting, or maybe my body is used to seeing that at night when I go to bed, so it's telling my brain it's nap time or bedtime or something. But that can knock me out quick. It doesn't matter what time of the night. If I start reading, there's something about that. I tell my kids all the time when they tell me I had trouble going to sleep or haven't been able to sleep well. I said, well, when you get in the bed, read. Because I guarantee you'll be asleep in 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. I read a lot in the morning, but if I read at night, it makes me very sleepy. And so I very rarely finish a book.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It takes me about a month to read a book because I can get maybe a chapter or two.
Yeah.
Last night, I did finish a book, and I was really wanting to finish it because it was so good. And the past couple of nights, I've been sitting there, and I'll notice that I'll doze off, or my iPad will start to slip or something, and I'll just make myself keep on because I want to finish it so bad.
Yeah.
I've really gotten into reading the past couple of years. Prior to maybe two or 3 years ago, I never read. When we were in school, those book reports, I don't even know how I did the book reports. I may have gotten the Cliff Notes or skimmed through the book. I hated to read. I never read
Yeah.
anything, had no desire to. That's
Me
just
too.
been a new thing for me.
I think my ADHD, because I will read the same sentence
Yes.
over and over and over.
And think about other things.
Yes, such distraction. But if I'm super interested in it, I have devoured a book in like 2 days. But it is rare that I find one that holds my interest like that.
Colleen Hoover.
I have not read her
I
stuff.
have. I finished one of hers last night. I finished It Starts With Us. So, and I had prior to that, I had read It Ends With Us. So, which I had read a couple of her books anyway, but she's great. But some other things that we might could do, or that people may do, is organize and clean. And that's kind of twofold for me. I think it depends on what I'm cleaning and organizing. At the end of the process, I obviously feel better. But if it's my closet or something in my bedroom where you're having to pull a lot out to get it back in order.
Personal hell.
So I don't do a lot of cleaning as a stress reliever.
I've gotten better over the years, but I get easily overwhelmed. If I decide, because I am the Energizer Bunny, okay, I'm cleaning out this closet today. And next thing you know, I find an old picture in there.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a hat that I bought in 1988.
Right.
You know, it's not good. So I get distracted, but I love when I can accomplish something. I feel great, and then I'll do a good job at keeping it that way. But cleaning out my closet, that is my personal hell. I've had to do that recently. It's terrible.
Taking a bath.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another one.
Yeah. Petting your animals. If you have a cat or a dog, that is so cathartic. You know, sitting outside and petting your dog, or that is a huge stress relief, and that's another free thing. And believe it or not, chewing gum. I can chew gum.
Really?
And get into something at work and have my headphones in, and I am completely zen, able to focus, you know, and you feel accomplished with that too. And I notice that I'm less stressed. It's like it's tricking your brain that you're doing an activity.
In the midst of everything that goes on in life, or how stressed we get, try to appreciate the moment or the phase of life that you're in.
I will say one of the best stress relievers that there is spending time with a friend and laughing.
Yes.
And that is one thing that you and I will always have, even when we're old in the nursing home and I'm racing up and down in my wheelchair. We are always going to laugh.
Yeah.
And that is a great stress reliever no matter what you're facing. If you can find the humor in it and you can laugh about it, it makes life so much more full. And I know my heart is full of joy as a result.
We were at the beach almost a year ago. We went in October. It was such a difficult time for you.
Yeah.
And I still was having flashbacks earlier today of us sitting outside the van in the sand on our chairs. It was earlier in the morning, I believe.
Yes.
We had our sweatshirts on. And just drinking coffee and talking. And there was so much peace being at the beach and on the sand and in the water. But the conversation was so heavy. There were tears shed.
Yes.
And a lot of things that needed to be said and come out. I think we've mentioned that before. There's relief in that too. In the moment, it's so hard to see that sometimes, but just letting that out, especially with a friend that you trust and that you know so well. It's easier now to look 11 months later.
Sure.
And appreciate that moment even more. Like we totally enjoyed the trip.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a great trip. I want to do it again. But being able to look back on it now and think, oh, thank God. I say we, but like, thank God you've made it. and now we're here 11 months later, being able to look at it a little differently.
And I think I'm a verbal processor, so I talk to think. And I think sometimes just being able to explore thoughts and things that are in your head and heartache and things that have happened and your interpretation of those, right, wrong, or indifferent, and being able to share that with a friend who's not judging you for having those feelings or for sharing them. I feel like I can say anything to you, and everybody needs somebody that they can talk to.
Yeah.
And I know some people say, oh, don't wallow in it, don't think about it all the time. And I've been there before,
Yeah.
sick of talking about it. But I think
You got to process.
Getting it out and processing it and being able to see the path forward, you're right. It's almost a year later.
Yeah.
And I'm completely 180 degrees
Night and
from
day.
where I was.
Night and day.
Yeah.
And we don't need to harbor on the bad. We talked about this earlier. Don't harbor on the bad. Just try to focus on the good and move on. And I'll end with this. And if you have anything, you can add to it. But if social media stresses you out and makes you feel insecure,
Yeah.
give it up or take a break from it. It can be so much fun, but it can also put a lot of pressure on anyone. But
Yeah.
if I have to speak from personal experience, it can put a lot of pressure on you as a woman, as a mom,
Yes.
as a spouse, as a homekeeper, a working mom, a non-working mom. It can be too much. But I think the filters are fun and all of that's fun, but we've got to learn how to balance that out and understand what reality is. And listen, my social media a lot of times probably looks like I have the best, perfect life. But why would I post crap on social media?
Yeah.
Why am I going to do that? And when I see other people do it, I'm like, why are you doing that? That's so weird. Like, why are you posting that you're arguing with your spouse? You're doing that. Like, people don't post about that. So you need to realize that maybe because I'm posting something I think's funny, or I'm on a trip, or my son's graduating from college, those are things that's my life. And those are the good things that I want to share. Those are my memories. And I'm not going to put on social media when I've argued or grounded my kids, or my husband and I have gotten in an argument and we're not speaking. Like, I'm not going to do that. And I don't want you to do that.
Yeah. And I think you have to realize, to your point, that you're looking at everyone else's highlight reel.
Yes, exactly.
And you're looking at the best pictures. I know I've taken 50 pictures of myself because I didn't like the way I looked in one.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm posting. And sometimes it's not flattering. Like, my friends did me dirty on my 50th and posted some pictures that I would not have put in a prison. But
Did I post something bad?
No, you did not. So, one of my other friends literally picked the most unflattering photos and was just like, here, upload. And I was like, OMG, I look like we can't even talk about it. But anyway, what I'm saying is a lot of thought goes into it. For the most part, people are like, oh, look at these great pictures. Yeah. I'm going to pick the best one out of the 60 that I took.
Yeah.
You don't always have that luxury because not everything is a highlight reel. But at the end of the day, you're watching their best of their best.
Sure.
And when you're having a hard day, like you said, and you look at someone else and you think they have this charmed life, and everybody has a different thing. I've noticed patterns. There are people who seem to have their career is perfect, their marriage is perfect. Again, this is from the outside, right? But maybe they have nothing but sickness and death in their life.
Right.
It is like all this sickness and death surrounding them. Then someone else has all their family, no health problems or whatever. They've got all their family left, but yet they're struggling financially.
Right.
So everybody has their cross to bear.
Right.
And it's all different. And it's not better or it's not worse. But you've just got to protect your peace at all costs.
Yeah. I feel like the initial goal of Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case is for it to be fun and just to keep up with people. And so that's how I tend to look at it. I mean, listen, you and I the other day, we won't say who it was, but you sent me something and you were like, can you believe this person has put this on Facebook? And it was because somebody was just ranting about their family. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give the person an A for keeping it real, but let's be honest, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
So we can't be hypocritical at the same time and say, well, they're always posting good things, or they're always, here or there. Well, when we really don't want to see the bad anyway, we really don't.
Yeah. It's a lack of maturity. It's a lack of emotional control.
Yeah.
But also, that's out there for everybody to see your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but it's entertaining for me from time to time. But it's like, whoa, okay. But I think everybody has their own stuff. It can be tough.
So I guess I'll have to commit to what I've written down for my stress relievers. So
yeah,
I need to start exercising more and finding the positive. That's probably the main thing for me. I need to find more of the positive. So I'll commit to doing that. And we'll see how it goes.
And we're always going to laugh.
We'll see how it goes.
Yes. And we'll have more dating stories for you to laugh at.
Yes, we're definitely going to keep everyone up to date on Mandy's dating life.
Some of it.
We're giving it some time.
Yeah, we are.
Got to let a few things brew a little longer.
Yes, that's right.
All right.
Well, I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.